So today I wanted to give you a look inside one of the sketchbooks I recently completed. It's the biggest one, size-wise, that I've done so far. It's quite thick, as you can see. This is a Strathmore mixed media sketchbook with gray toned paper. I really liked it. It's a bit different paper-wise, and some pages are sticking together, but I really like the size. I didn't think I would. I thought it would be quite challenging to paint like this, but it was actually really fun. You can see my cover is all beat up because this sketchbook had a couple of accidents. It took me just over a month to complete it, so it was pretty quick, and it's all abstract in here. So I used it to test out new things. I was trying out acrylic ink here for the first time, and I really like how all the different textures come up on this paper when you're using ink. I think it's really cool that you can see all of these. So it's very, very experimental, the sketchbook, very different from all of my other ones as well. I use this for Mindtober to begin with, which is a little challenge that I set myself to use mindful drawing / painting prompts for the month of October. So you will see them written out here. I actually quite like this page. I was trying to, this was a free day from my challenge, so I did a Peachtober prompt, which was trees. And I actually quite like how this turned out. I was trying to do kind of like a foresty type scene, and I quite like how this turned out. This is also an unexpected color combination that I ended up really liking. This was around the Halloween time, I think. Well, October, pretty much everything is Halloween in October, isn't it? So yeah, no, this would have actually been at the beginning of October, so I think I just was feeling a bit Halloweeny already at that time. I really like the textures I got here. So I'm mostly using acrylics in here, heavy body acrylics, and you can really see all the textures in here. And I'm not precious about my materials at all, so I do use a lot of acrylic when I want to. Some of the pages are more flat, some more ink experimentation here. I was trying to get this kind of dry old brush type look, but I think my downfall was adding water to the brush, so I tried it out later as well without the water, and it turned out much better. And this one someone called a jellyfish, which I can see now. It wasn't what I was intending. I was just adding random marks to the page, but it's fun how with abstract art people see different things. This page, this spread is a complete mess. We had some leakage here, and then this one I just didn't finish. So it just ended up with having some random blobs on there. These are all of these little marks. They're made by Neocolor 2 from Caran d'Ache. So I was using them quite a lot. And this is the page spread that caused a lot of the accident. When I was trying to paint, this was when I was in France on an art retreat, and I had this really amazing neon pink ink. And this one, all three of these actually are the neons from Liquitex. And then I ended up knocking over this pink, and half of the bottle spilled all over the table, on my sketchbook, on someone else's paper. It was a complete mess. So yeah, and it's a shame because I can't find this color anywhere at the moment. I got it there in France in one of the art shops that we went to, and I just really like adding pops of neon now, it seems. So here I was trying to use up the remainder of the pink that I had because I didn't want to have to take, a half empty tube back with me. But I actually also quite like the spreads of pink and orange are, for me, a bit of an unexpected combination in the sense that I don't use these colors together. I don't really use much of pink or orange at all. So it was interesting to experiment, and here you can see I also started incorporating some graphite, which I haven't used in ages as well, but I really liked adding a few marks here and there to add some more interest into just create something a bit different. Another page where I didn't want to do anything, I was tired, but even if it's just 2 minutes, I do try to draw or paint or do something every single day, and that month was just so busy. This page I do quite like. It's got so much shimmer going on. If you just look at it, look at this. It's so good. This shimmery goodness is Liquitex as well. And it acts completely different to the other inks. It doesn't really bloom. It's not watery. Even if you try to, like here, I tried to add a bunch of water to it, but it kind of still, it's more of like an even spread. I don't really like that, but I will use it up. Don't think I will buy it again, but it is really pretty if you want to add just some details here and there. So really good for that for sure. This is a very random spread, but I do like it. And it's just a nice combination. I really like the black with the purple. And this is kind of where I started also experimenting with moving from one page to another. It's a bit of a messy one. It's moving away from those bright colors to something more neutral. This is one of the spreads that I actually really like. Again, loads of ink here, loads of blooming, and I wanted to brighten it up a bit with some white tones, but I really like it. I'm going to be using acrylic ink way more often after this, and I want to get a bunch of new colors in it as well. There's just something about the simplicity of the black and white together that I really like. And these pages, this is already when I finished mine sober, and then I was just taking some random prompts from people on Instagram, and it turned out that I find it a lot more challenging to paint from a word rather than like a feeling or an emotion. And you can see by my failed attempt of an abstract snake over here, it just ends up being like a big squiggle. Playing around with the composition here a bit more. It's a very rough one, but I do kind of like it. This one not so much, but this one there's something interesting about it. And this is probably one of my favorite spreads. I did this as part of a workshop that I was teaching for a sketchbook party this year with the pigeon letters. And as the idea was that I started off on this page with one feeling and then guided people through their emotions and, how you can transition from one place to another. So I really like this spread. This one just was, kind of a failed attempt at doing some abstract bamboo forest type thing. Again, just find it difficult to paint with having what I'm painting in mind as opposed to just going with the flow. I really like this though. It's loads of ink on here, some markers, and to me it kind of looks like an ape or something like that sitting down, or some monster. Someone else mentioned a face, so it's different depending on how you look at it. And again, I'm going back to some of my favorite colors. I've been really drawn to purple, lavender, those types of tones, and exploring all the different options they have to offer. All the textures are just so fun to the touch as well. And that's it. This is the last page that I have. It looks a bit unfinished, and it kind of is. I think at this point when I got to this page, I already wanted to be done with the sketchbook. Although I must say that this was one of the easiest sketchbooks for me to fill, just because I set myself the goal of experimenting and trying things out. I wasn't limiting myself to a specific color palette or subject, so it just felt a lot more natural and a lot easier as well. And that's it. That's my sketchbook done. I hope you enjoyed this little sketchbook tour. I have a couple more sketchbooks on the go at the moment, so I will keep you updated with how they're progressing. Thanks for joining me today.